and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. The video game industry has been kind of in a rough spot for a little while now, right? We've had a lot of back and forth going on between the video game developers and a lot of the video game major studios and the corporations out there like Sony and Microsoft and some of the rest of these companies out there. And, well, honestly, the customer at the end of the day, the people that actually buy the games, the gamers out there in the world. And there's been a lot of back and forth now, social media and a lot of the more freedoms that we have on some of the new social media platforms that have recently changed ownership hands and stuff like that. It's given us a little bit more ability to go out there and reach and kind of push back and organize on a lot of these social media platforms and get things changed. I mean, one of the biggest things we saw as of recently was with Helldivers and Sony changing their idea about requiring a PlayStation Network account to log in, even if you're playing on PC or some other kind of platform. So it's one of them situations where we have seen gamers win time and time again. Stellar Blade had some good stuff going on with that, with a few of the costumes getting re-added to the game in one of the more recent updates. So it's been one of those things. It's been an overall positive, I think, for a lot of the video gamers out there. Well, at the end of the day, this irks some people inside of the industry. That makes them very upset that at the end of the day, the customer is getting what they want and they're losing, because at the end of the day, we know that they have a very much an agenda that they want to push, a specific narrative that they want to push, an ideology that they live inside of, and that's all that really matters to them. And when anyone disagrees with it or pushes back or has even given legitimate criticism about modern games that come out, well, they freak out, they have a meltdown, and they call us every kind of name under the book, and well, it's just another day and why. But ladies and gentlemen, we need to continue to call these people out. We need to announce this kind of stuff from the rooftops and make sure that our voices are heard, that kind of pushback is not or that kind of nonsense is not going to be allowed against your paying customers. We are going to make shame great again, boys and girls, and we have someone else that is on that list today, because someone over on Reddit decided to post a lovely little anonymous post saying that they work for a video game developer making racing games. Now, obviously, this could go to a lot of different things out there, but at the exact same time, of course, this is an anonymous post, so take it with a grain of salt. But considering some of the backlash we've seen from inside of not only the video game companies, what we've seen on social media is from the creators of some of these games, some of the kind of nonsense they pushed out there, some of the stuff we've seen going on with certain Discord servers and the moderators. Does this surprise anybody? This is a mentality that is spread constantly across the video game industry. It is, of course, the consistent kind of thing in a lot of the modern era. Once again, it's the college graduates that we're seeing from them. This is a breeding ground for this woke indoctrination that we have seen time and time again, and it causes absolute meltdowns. And ladies and gentlemen, this meltdown is one of them for the ages. It is hilarious. It is epic. And the pushback that has come against this is something that should be funny and laughed at and absolutely enjoyed for your viewing pleasure. So we're going to check all of that out, boys and girls. We're going to get into all the juicy details. But before we do, if you have not already, make sure you smash that like button, share it with all your friends, subscribe and or follow if you have not already. And if you'd like to help support the channel, check out the links in the description down below and help us keep the lights on around here indefinitely, because we are a completely and totally fan-funded show, and I could not do this without every single one of you. So let's check this out. Anonymous game developer admits, "I kinda hate gamers," calls Asmongold's viewers bigots. Oh, yes, boys and girls, because attacking the fans of one of the largest video game platformers and streamers out there is always a good choice. An alleged game developer posted anonymously to the game dev subreddit, admitting that he hates gamers and that members of the Asmongold subreddits are bigots. Reddit users Likely Sprite, who claims to work on a racing game, titled his post in the subreddit, "Am I allowed to say this? I kinda hate gamers. I'm a professional game designer, and I'm worried that I'm starting to hate gamers. Watching game events on YouTube last month with the chat was on an extremely disheartening experience. Every time a character that wasn't a cis white man..." Oh, okay, boys and girls, do we even need to go any farther with what this person's ideology or mentality is? We know where their agenda lies. We know what they want to push because of the fact that they used a ridiculously stupid and honestly kind of offensive term, cis white man. I'm sorry that I'm straight and I'm attracted to females and I like to have babies and get married. Oh my God, the natural and traditional way of things that have perpetuated the species from here all the way back to the Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Like literally. Like, yeah. Oh my God. Oh, what a tragedy. Oh, tradition and actually increasing the population and having like stable homes. Oh, the horror. Every time a character that wasn't a cis white man appeared on the screen, the chats would fill with messages calling the game woke or complaining about DEI. Every game that wasn't a shooter or hyper-casual competitive online gamer, these had boring comments. Aw, did something you work hard on get ragged on? Criticism sucks, doesn't it? Try reading the YouTube comments on some of the bigger people in my corner of the internet's freaking sections on their videos. Holy cow. And then I check Twitter, and it's just people complaining that MGS3 remake is not yellow enough. People telling me the right ways and wrong ways to beat Elden Ring. Else Ring, I guess is probably what they're saying. They probably meant Elden Ring. Obviously, they can't type. And people hating on the new Dragon Age because the trailer doesn't match the tone they'd imagined for it. Okay, these all sound like legitimate criticisms. What's wrong with any of this? We are the paying customer. We cover your paycheck. We keep the lights on at your office. Although you probably get to work from home, which, hey, more credit to you, more power to you. It's great to work from home. But literally, we pay your bills. And you're complaining that we have criticisms, legitimate criticisms about a game. I've seen people implying that MC in the Fable trailer is ugly because it's self-insert or some random level designer working at Playground whom they've deemed not fuckable enough. Well, yeah, she was hideous. That's your cinematic trailer. It wasn't like she looked a little funky because it was toned down for gameplay purposes to make it all work smoothly. That was your cinematic trailer. And yes, she was hideous. But this is something we've seen. That's why we recognized it and called it out. This isn't just some one-off. We can give you example after example of the uglification we've seen of women in video games. Mary Jane Watson, anybody? Where's our Hollywood starlet beauty that she has been described and pictured as in the comics going back all the way to the very beginning? But that's okay. You don't care about that because you want to make the world as ugly as you are, so you lash back out against anybody that criticizes this kind of stuff. Go right ahead because we're winning. At the end of the day, we're the ones that pays the bills. Your ideology and your woke agenda and all your virtue signal points doesn't cover the electric bill. I don't know. It's just the internet magnifying negative voices, I guess, doing what it does best. But it's making me real tired of gamers. Well, based on the sales numbers and the ratings, I don't think it's the internet amplifying anything. I think it's legitimate criticism against an industry that has gone insane. Because guess what? Doing the same thing over again and over again, expecting different results, that's the definition of insanity. So keep going ahead and pushing your agenda and continue to watch your games fail over and over again. When you want to use your pushback on Likely Sprite, informed him that anyone who ironically uses a cis white male to complain about customers is not developing a game that will be commercially successful. The alleged developer responded by doubling down. Thanks for proving my point, cisnet gamer. Yeah, they proved our point. They proved our point. Likely Sprite would also reveal the entire purpose of the post. I made this post to vent. People are free to comment whatever they want. My work is to tweak numbers on an Excel sheet and then implement and fine-tune changes into a game engine. I have zero use for gamers' thoughts on race and gender. Then why did you make the post? Why are you criticizing people that complain about this kind of stuff? Why are you the one that brought up the cis white male issue there, homie? If you don't care about people's opinions on race and gender. Weird. If you didn't care about our opinions, why do you feel so threatened by it to where you have anxiety to where you have to make a post about stuff? However, when one user responded to his post suggesting he was too hyper-focused on gender politics, Likely Sprite admitted he actively lives a lie. I'm not hyper-focused on gender politics. I just happen to be trans. Should I apologize for existing? No, you should seek serious mental health counseling from a legitimate psychiatrist or psychologist that can absolutely help you with your gender dysmorphia issues so that way you can go on to live a beautiful life like God intended to you, being happy in the skin that you were born in. That's what we would like you to do. Because we, unlike you, actually have empathy for your plight. We have empathy for the issues that you were going through and the society and culture that taught you that you were born wrong. I thought, what was it? I thought the line from like the original LGB crowd was that they were born that way. And then there was nothing wrong with them being born that way. Why were you born the wrong way? Do you disagree with that? Did maybe society and culture influence those people, or maybe influence you? Why is that? What's wrong with the way you were born? Just curious about that one. The game developer would also refer to Asmongold's subreddit as bigots. Circulated online, and just across the point that Asmongold's subreddits so bigots can circle jerk about it. Oh, yes. An entire community, every single person, every single one of them, bigots, every single one of them. And of course, as noted by former World of Warcraft team lead Mark Kern, aka Grums, oh boy, you hate gamers because you are obviously political and insist that everyone accepts and love your overt political messaging in games. You want compliance. Gamers aren't giving it to you. And that's an absolute fact. That is an undeniable and incontrovertible, you can't argue with it, truth. Because that's the way it goes. Western civilization, the Western culture, whether it be just common sense people out there in the world, whether it be the United States, which is the dominant influence on Western civilization, whether you want to deny that or not is up to you. But we are rejecting this nonsense. And that's good. That's a good sign. That's good hope for the entire world. Because we have seen this mind virus that propagated and was really, nurtured in the United States, in Western civilization, specifically California and the other major cities that are nothing more than literal echo chambers where everybody thinks the exact same way, and those that don't either get ostracized or have literally moved to places like Texas and Florida to get away from all of that insanity. This is what happens to them. Because at the end of the day, the majority of people out there do not agree with this ideology. They do not accept this rewriting of the world around them. They don't accept this rewriting of biology. They don't accept this rewriting of identity. They don't accept the rewriting 2 + 2 still equals 4. And at the end of the day, the customers are the ones that pays the bills. And you can go out there and hate us all you want. That's fine. You can cry and whine that we're bigots and we're racist and we're homophobes and all the rest of that stuff at the end of the day. But guess what? You will never shame us into buying your games. Because we know that your view of the world is fundamentally wrong, and not only wrong, but dangerous. Not only to the entire fundamentals of how our world works, but also to our children. And that's not something we're going to stand. That's not something we're going to put up. Yeah, you're an adult. Go live your life however you want. If you want to do horrible things to yourself, have at it. But when you try to influence our children, we try to go after our kids, yes, we are going to push back. And if you have woken a movement and a group of individuals that normally stay quiet and don't say anything, and maybe not all of them are becoming activists. Maybe not all of them are going to create YouTube and Rumble channels and start hollering about this stuff on the internet. But you know what they will do? Not buy your games. And at the end of the day, you told us if we don't like it, don't buy our stuff. So we don't. If we don't agree with your politics, we won't buy your books. We won't buy your games. So go ahead, scream and rant into the ether all you want. At the end of the day, you are being shamed into oblivion. We are making shame great again. And the customers are winning because we pay the bills. Your virtue signal points don't.